In this episode, we're going to be exploring the idea that your AI skill isn't about a subscription to a platform or a tool that you use as part of your school. It's a file. It's something that you have that you can lean into, and it makes you completely tool proof. And it's the one thing that most AI for teacher trainings never tell you. It's not about a platform. And even though I've got platforms that I use and enjoy and I come back to day, it's more than that. If you want to be someone that uses AI well, you really need to be building up this kind of base layer of core competencies. And I'm going to be teaching you what that looks like over the course of the next 5 to 7 minutes and showing where you can take that even further. Now, if you get two teachers, same tool, you probably got some different outcomes here. You've got every PE teacher, or those most likely have tried AI at some point. Some use it daily. They'd be group A. It's part of their day-to-day workflows. Group B, they've tried it twice. They've gave up, never quite replicated or never quite became part of their workflows. And the difference here really isn't that they had a tool that made it the case. It's something nobody teaches. And some of the people in Group A might be doing this without realizing it. And I'm going to be really explicit about what that thing is in a minute. And the skill was never the tool. It was never about using ChatGPT or using Claude or whatever. The skill is the prompting. It's that the prompts don't live inside any one particular tool. They live wherever you decide to keep them. And the big advice and the big takeaway here is that it shouldn't be in a subscription to a platform that might change. Just imagine the scenario. It's a true story. I've seen people talk about this. They go and do a ChatGPT training. Their school gets excited about it. They bring someone in, they teach ChatGPT or whatever the case, interchangeable software. And the workflows and the things that they've built up in that become useful, and they start to get a bit of a feel for how this thing works. And then the school changes to a different platform, or maybe they end up using Gemini because it's part of their Google ecosystem, or they're a Microsoft school and they use Copilot. And because of the fact that they've been treating the subscription or the platform as the vehicle where that work is done, they kind of have to start from zero. And that can be really daunting. And it can feel like, all right, well, I didn't really learn how to use AI, because what I did learn was how to use ChatGPT or whatever that particular first case platform was. And that's the wrong way to do this. We really want to be in a position where no matter what tool comes along, because I can guarantee you the tools are going to change. The one constant here is change. They are going to change. And we want to be in a scenario where no matter what happens, we can pick up and move between them really quite easily. And the way that we do that is that the somewhere else that we keep these is a plain markdown file. Now, you might be familiar with, PDF documents or Word documents. What we're talking about here is a file that is where your prompts are kept, but it's done in a markdown format, which is .md. And we have them for all of these different contexts. It's not just one prompt file. It's done over all the different scenarios that we find ourselves in. So anytime that we do something that we want to turn into a repeatable workflow, we save it as an MD file, and it's something that becomes portable. And the anatomy of what I call skill files, or these MD files that are skills, is that they're kind of done in 5 parts. We've got a title and intent in our skill file. What is it and when is it used? The trigger that makes this happen, the prompt, as in the actual things that you get done, and the output, what it looks like, and variations. And when you've got them saved in a skill file, you have the ability to stop being a ChatGPT user. You become a teacher who uses AI on their own terms, because we've got these skill files that we can lean into. Now, if you're sitting there going, all right, well, this sounds good in theory, what does that look like? Where can I go to maybe get started with these? And at Connected PE, we've been adding in skill files for different tools and things and workflows that we have as part of our teaching and that we think you'd be interested in having. And you can go there and find like lesson planning ones, take them, paste them into whatever tool you've got, and you'll start to see what that makes possible. And, it's the kind of foundational thing that no matter what the tool is in the future, you would be able to put the skill file into and have that kind of repeatable process come out of it. So that's the starting point. I've shown you the kind of how and what you could do. You could take this very concept and go away and start to build your own skill files out, save them as MD files. But we want to make that even easier for you. You could obviously go to Connected PE skills page and see which ones we've published, request others and so on. But if you want a workshop where this is done for you, with you and so on, where, you actually over 4 weeks, guided 4 weeks, really dive into making this stuff work for you, then the question is, let's do a workshop where we do it around your context and, give you the value that comes from that. So the PE Geek workshops are back. They're online. You can head to thepegeek.com/workshops and you'll see that we have a 4-week asynchronous course teaching AI fluency. And in that, you're going to be building out your own skill files across a course of different use cases, feedback and assessment, planning, administration, comms, just what it takes to make a skill file that works and it's repeatable. What are the base ingredients here that, make these things successful. And at the end of it, you'll probably have about 6 or 8 skills that are repeatable workflows that you have as part of your job and something that you can put into any LLM tool and get a repeatable outcome. And the reason why it's done in this manner, and rather than saying, hey, we're going to teach you, how to use ChatGPT for PE, is because everyone's tool sets are going to be different. But the one core thing here is these underlying skill files. And if we show you how to make them, it doesn't matter what the tool is, you're going to be able to leverage it. So if that sounds interesting and you want to know how to make yourself a fluent teacher with, using AI in a PE context, then head along to the PE Geek Workshops page and learn more. And, this isn't just something that I scrapped together because, I'm interested in PE. I spent over 15 years helping PE teachers in workshops. We've ran in 40 plus countries, teaching thousands of teachers all manner of technical kind of concepts, from using mobile devices to, using and building video assessment, feedback work, like whatever it is, we've helped people in very real contexts. And looking at the current landscape now, I'm like, I think there's a lot of people who need need assistance. And the type of training that I've seen in the market is just really not hitting the mark on what's required. It's either generic and for non-PE teachers, or maybe it's for someone who has worked out that, oh, you can get AI to do lesson planning for you, but doesn't really understand that what they're teaching is the wrong thing. You need to teach these underlying base fluencies and skills that make you portable. So if you want to go and join our module, you can head along to that peergeek.com/workshops page and see the prices. If you're a Connected PE member, you can also get a 50% off code to join it. If you've got your team and you want to make it more affordable for everyone, then you can register multiple licenses and get access to that course. And because it's an asynchronous course, you can watch it at your own pace. So even though we have starting dates for different modules, it doesn't mean you have to start it then. You can get access and then do it at your own pace, keep the content forever, and work through this kind of base underlying skill set to make you fluent in AI so that no matter what tool comes along, you can wrestle with it. And if that sounds interesting, head along to the site. You'll find more information, or you can contact me on socials or email. and ask any questions. But that is the end of this week's episode. I think the core premise here is that we shouldn't be building, or you shouldn't be building skills for one particular tool in mind. It's not about, knowing how to use ChatGPT. Wrong approach. You want to know how to build out these skill files. And I've kind of hinted at what they look like. They're just raw MD files that, live on your machine or somewhere. But if you want someone to guide you through how to do that even more efficiently and effective and give you examples of other skill files, then you might be interested in the upcoming workshops. Talk soon.